Of course, on the day Arizona State plays its biggest basketball game of the season, Jose Perez, nowhere to be found. Happy Friday and welcome into the PHNX Sun Devils show. Of course, presented by Branded Bills. Make sure you head to brandedbills.com and use that code BBPHNX for 15% off your first order. I'm Anthony Totri, joined as always by the deli man behind the Mac, making all of the magic happen. No Jose Perez on today's show, also known as Rubus. He will be back for the pregame show ahead of Arizona State's bout with West Virginia. We got a lot to get into today. Of course, we're getting into predictions. We've got heat index. We're going to take a look at the rest of the Big 12 slate potentially. We'll get a return of Hot or Not. I'm not sure we've done Hot or Not the majority of the season, but the meat and potatoes of today's show, getting you guys ready for Arizona State's must-win game against West Virginia. Emily in the chat, McKay, D-Rock in here with a little forks up. We are going earlier than we normally go, but that's what we do on these Friday shows. And of course, for everybody curious, we will have a pregame show and a postgame show following Arizona State's game against West Virginia on Saturday, but gearing you guys up for that must-win game. Arizona State fresh off a bye. West Virginia, on the other hand, winners of two straight, beat Colorado and beat Houston, a team in West Virginia that has been pretty piss poor all season long. They have not been good, but we've got the script. We've got the key to victory, and then honestly, we could probably wrap up the show. Arizona State has won 14 straight games when leading at halftime. That is the second longest active streak in the conference. The only team with more, West Virginia. West Virginia has won 15 straight games when up at halftime. So the two longest active streaks in the Big 12. The script's in. Whoever's up at halftime is going to win this football game. Now, in all honesty, when you look at this matchup between Arizona State and West Virginia, of course, we know that the Sun Devils are absolutely just still beat up, dealing with injuries. Xavier Alford done for the year. You don't have Sam Levitt, no Kyson Brown, no Jordan Tyson, no Ben Coleman. Still a lot of shuffling going on along the offensive line. Defensively, you've dealt with some issues kind of all season long. Maybe most notable outside of Xavier Alford is Cyrus Fiaseu in that linebacker room. You haven't had him for a number of weeks. But at this point in the year, it doesn't matter. You are 6-3, and everything that you still want to accomplish, though it's slim, is still in front of you. Of course, at the start of the year, the expectation, the conversation was, Arizona State needs to go back to the Big 12 championship, right? That's what you got when you have Sam Levitt, when you have Jordan Tyson. We've got so many key pieces coming back on defense. To this point in the year, though, Arizona State is on the outside looking in. And if they still want to make that Big 12 championship game with a chance to do something that has only been done once before in the history of the conference, and that's go back-to-back in terms of winning the conference championship. Oklahoma did it some time back. Well, you got to go 3-0, and you obviously got to get some help. But you can't go 3-0 if you don't go 1-0. And that's exactly what you got to do on Saturday with West Virginia coming to town. So despite the injuries, what do these two teams look like? How do they stack up on a position-by-position basis? Well, this is what we have. Despite Sam Leavitt not being in there, I'm still giving the edge to Arizona State when it comes to the quarterback position. West Virginia has had an absolute quarterback carousel pretty much the majority of the year, with a number of their quarterbacks going down. It looks like it's going to be Scotty Fox Jr. In the foxhole for West Virginia. So I'm giving the edge to Jeff Sims. In terms of the running backs, I'm still going to give it to Arizona State, despite the fact that Raleek Brown hasn't been the same version, or we haven't seen the same version of him that we saw early on in the season. Still no Kyson Brown, but I do believe Arizona State has the advantage when it comes to that running back position. West Virginia, we know they've been dealing with some running back injuries as well all season long. Now, the next two, when it comes to pass catchers and the offensive line, this is where I have it being the most even between these two teams. I genuinely believe that without Jordan Tyson, without Ben Coleman, these two teams in terms of pass catchers and the offensive line are relatively even. Now, along the offensive line, neither one of these teams has been great in terms of keeping their quarterback upright. In fact, West Virginia, I want to say, sits at second or third right now in the conference in terms of giving up sacks. They sit at about 24. They've played 5 quarterbacks to this point in the season, 4 of which have been sacked 3 or more times. Scotty Fox Jr. has been sacked 9 times to this point in the season. So potentially a spot where whoever performs best in terms of pass catchers or the offensive line could be the difference in this Arizona State and West Virginia contest. Now, when it comes to the defense, sorry, West Virginia fans. Actually, I take that back. I don't apologize whatsoever. Arizona State has the better defense at all 3 levels here. You look at the front 7 and the interior of this defensive line. I still think Arizona State has one of the best interior defensive lines in the conference, with CJ Fight, with Jacob Kongaika, who over the last 2 seasons has proved to be a super valuable transfer portal addition from U of A. You look at the linebackers, I've been really, really pleased with what Martell Hughes has done to this point in the year, not to mention you have Keyshawn Elliott and Jordan Crook both playing their way into getting drafted in the 2026 NFL draft. And then you take another step back, despite not having Xavier Alford, the DBs, the pass defense and coverage for me, definitely the edge has to go to Arizona State. Keith Abney playing like not just one of the best cover corners in the conference, one of the best cover corners in the country to this point in the season, and somebody that could still potentially come back next year if he opted to return to college football. And Javen Robinson on the opposite end playing DB, along with Rodney Bivens getting some time, Kendrick Breedlove, and Boogie Wilson, and Miles Rouser. The names just continue to step up for Arizona State in this secondary, despite not having the presumed best safety in the conference to start the year in Xavier Alford. Now, despite the issues that we've seen with Arizona State in terms of special teams making the change with Charlie Ragle, I'm going to be honest here. Special teams for me, it's either got to go in favor of West Virginia or it's got to be even here. I ultimately gave it to West Virginia just based off the fact that Arizona State, when it comes to special teams, has been pretty pathetic and putrid all season long. Not to say West Virginia has been good, but they haven't been a dumpster fire at that phase of the game. And then to bring it all home when it comes to coaching, come on now. It's got to be Kenny Dillingham and that staff. I'm taking them over Rich Rod any day that ends in Y. Shane, do you feel like I nailed that on the head here, or do you feel like maybe, the edges that I gave to Arizona State were slightly biased?
I love that Jeff Sims has the edge.
He does. He absolutely. But seeing what West Virginia has at quarterback, and seeing what we just saw from Jeff Sims 2 weeks ago, National AP Player of the Week.
I'm not saying it's wrong. No, I think you hit the nail on the head. I'm not hopeful that ASU doesn't have the upper hand in the wide receiver position, but Jaron Hamilton still isn't, or Jalen Moss still isn't very real. So maybe once he fully, materializes, maybe then they'll have the upper hand in that wide receiver room.
Potentially. We'll see. Lee Corso in the chat. Here's my concern. This is supposed to be a low-scoring game. Our special teams has to step up. If our special teams doesn't improve, a big return, a block kick, something Rich Rod's very good at. Lee Corso saying, I heard Jason Brown Jr. had a good week of practice. Are we going to finally see I'll be honest, my favorite running back on the roster. I've loved this kid since he was signed. D-Rock saying, is Kanye Udo available? Will we see him in this game? He is available by all accounts. Not listed on the Arizona State injury report, although we haven't seen a ton of Kanye Udo in this offense really all season long. You had the one anomaly, which was that Mississippi State game early when Kyson Brown went out, and we know Raleek, and then of course Kanye shared the rock there, both going over the century mark in that game. I would love to see Kanye. I would love to see Raleek. I'd love to see all these running backs really get a piece of the pie against West Virginia. Again, I don't think you're going to be able to run out there on Saturday and just do the same exact thing that you did against Iowa State. I think that would be pretty naive to think that West Virginia doesn't know that you are going to want to run the football with Jeff Sims. So I do think you're going to need to add some wrinkles to this offense if you are going to beat this West Virginia team. I get it's quote-unquote difficult to win in college football, right? That's what you're hearing, and that's what you hear every week from college football coaches. Mainly, you hear that from college football coaches sitting in a position where their team is expected to win, and that's exactly what you get in this game, right? Arizona State should win this game at home despite not having a bunch of key players. I don't care if it's hard to win in college football. I don't. You are staring down the barrel of 6-3 with an opportunity to end the year at 9-3 with a chance to win a 10th game when you go bowling, right? Again, you want to make the Big 12 championship. That is still on the table. Are the odds in your favor? Absolutely not. You also would like to go to a good bowl game, right? I know we joked and discussed it a little bit on Wednesday's show that, you know, the Sun Bowl, the Vegas Bowl, whatever. Like, at this point, for Arizona State fans, you got a taste of the CFP. You got a taste of the Peach Bowl, what it's like to play in those big nationally televised games, in meaningful bowl games. I'm more in the camp that not every bowl game means the same thing, right? If you win the Holiday Bowl, cool. If you win the Pop-Tart Bowl, I'm a little bit more amped, right? So for Arizona State, regardless of you really, really having an uphill battle to make the Big 12 championship game, you could put yourself in a really nice, comfortable position over the next 3 games to find yourself in a big-time bowl game, all things considered. So for Arizona State, you have to get the job done here against West Virginia. For me, this is the peak of the season. Right? We talk all year about how you don't want to peak too early. If you do, what does that kind of look like? What does it mean for the remainder of the season? Well, the fact is you got 3 games left before the 2025 college football regular season is over. And I still feel like we have hit this point in the year where we haven't seen the best from this Arizona State team. There have been times, right? I think you go back to the Texas State game, the offense looked like it was humming, a little bit of a rhythm. I think defensively, you can point to a couple games and you could say, wow, the Arizona State defense played really well to that point in the season. Well, you've hit the point now. You're in the back half of the final quarter of the season. I need to see what this team looks like the rest of the way. This is your opportunity, right? Assuming everybody stays healthy the rest of the season, this game needs to be an appetizer for what the next 3 contests are going to look like. Whether it's the easiest stretch that you got all year, or they're sneaky good games, or they're sneaky good teams, I really don't care. You need to put your best foot forward in this game against West Virginia, and you need to come out swinging in this game. You absolutely have to. Oso and Bravo in the chat saying back-to-back 10-win seasons means something, especially at this point. I think some people have still forgotten that yes, Big 12 championship has always been the goal, right? It should be the goal going into every single season. This team has been gutted with injuries. They have not necessarily played to their expectation or their ceiling at this point in the year. I think we can all agree to that. But to still have a 10-win season on the table, I think speaks volumes about this team, about the fight that they have been showing out there every single week, and shows that you still do have something to play for. Todd Graham was the last coach to lead this team to back-to-back 10-win seasons. The last coach to do it. You have an opportunity to do something at Arizona State that hasn't been done in quite some time to wrap up the 3rd year of the Kenny Dillingham era. I would say you are in a position to really capitalize with West Virginia coming back to your place. You're rocking some great jerseys. It's homecoming, and it's one of 2 home games that you have left on the schedule, right? Arizona State was pretty unbeatable at home over the course of the last several seasons, and we know what happened the last time they played at home against Houston. It was a rather disappointing performance, right? It really put a damper on what you wanted to achieve and get to do in the postseason. You have a new opportunity in front of you to start a new home win streak. The question is, will Arizona State do it? That's the question. We've got predictions. We got heat index, potentially hot or not. We're going to take a look at the rest of the Big 12 slate, maybe even talk some ASU hoops on the other side of our first break. Look, we've got some really exciting stuff in the works over the course of the next couple of weeks as it relates to our friends over at Rally House. So, of course, be on the lookout for that. Also, head to your local Rally House location, especially if you're an Arizona State fan. Pick up some great merch. Now, there are a bunch of stores out there. There are a bunch of folks that tell you, oh, we got the best merch to rep Valley sports teams. Well, Rally House might actually take the cake, especially if you're a Sun Devil. Check out their Tempe Marketplace location. I'm not joking you here. They love all Valley sports, right? So the Diamondbacks, the Cardinals, the Suns, they each get a wall to showcase their great gear that they have. But when it comes to that Tempe Marketplace location in Arizona State, half the store is just Arizona State merch. Jerseys, hoodies, shorts, pajamas, shirts, hats, all of the things over at Rally House. Make sure you find your local Rally House location and shop their entire product assortment online at rallyhouse.com today. Now, of course, you have the regular season of college football nearing an end. So if you're not going to the games, but you still maybe want to enjoy what's left of the slate, well, maybe check out Gila River Resorts and Casinos, especially if you are looking to maybe kick back, have a little staycation. They've got a bunch of great locations: Lone Butte, Bequiva, Santan Mount. My personal favorite is, of course, Wild Horse Pass. Now, you're probably sitting at home asking, well, why, Totri? Why is Wild Horse Pass your favorite location? Well, I'll tell you why. It's because we have so many PHNX events over at that Wild Horse Pass location. They do it up really big. It's a ton of fun. But just because we're not having a PHNX event over the next couple days doesn't mean you can't go have fun over at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. Again, staycation. Go get yourself a steak dinner. Hang out by the pool. Enjoy all that Gila River Resorts and Casinos has to offer. One thing you always got to keep in mind, though, is you do you at Gila River Resorts Casinos. Visit playatgila.com for more details. Hit that like button. Hit the subscribe button. Drop a 5-star review wherever you get your podcast. Wanikin in the chat says Jeff Sims will win the Big 12. I feel like if Jeff Sims wins the Big 12, I don't even know. I don't like.
I mean, we already promised a stream.
Did we?
Yeah.
We promised what, a 24-hour stream?
Yeah.
Did we really?
Yeah. Eric didn't because he's a little baby.
He's gonna do it.
Yeah.
Or we'll let him go. I think that's just what we have to do. We do this as a team, so he's got to do it. Wes Beasy in the chat. We need Texas Tech defensive game and Iowa State ground performance as a group in the backfield, and Jeff Sims' best ever performance through the air for this West Virginia game going forward. I think that's 100% fair. In terms of this Arizona State defense, like I have, and in chat, you can correct me if I'm wrong here, and Shane, I'd like to hear from you too. I feel like to this season, Arizona State has done a marvelous job, minus a couple games, playing up and down to their competition. Arizona State against Texas Tech, the number 7 team in the country, looked phenomenal, looked great, won the ball game, right? Arizona State against Mississippi State, say what you want about Mississippi State, you know, being on the road, whatever, early in the season, they played down to their competition in that one. And I think they've done that, minus the Utah game, just about every single game this year, where you get in and you're like, Arizona State should take care of business, or they start slow, or they turn the football over, or schematically they look off. That can't be the case against West Virginia. You cannot come out here Saturday morning and play down to West Virginia football. You just can't do it. Again, this is maybe the 14th, 15th ranked team out of 16 in this conference in West Virginia. If you lose this game, oof. 6-4 sounds a lot worse than 7-3. A lot worse. And if you lose, of course, that wraps up any hope you have of going back to the Big 12 championship. It seemingly puts a massive damper on, what bowl game you can go to at the end of the year, especially given the fact that the top half of this conference, just about everybody is still competing to try and make that Big 12 championship game. This game means a lot more than people think. You're getting it in the morning. Very interested to see what the turnout is. Shane, I haven't seen that this is a sellout yet anywhere. Have you?
No, I haven't either, but I would be shocked if it's not
close to it,
at least, because it's homecoming. Like, I think, especially coming off of a win, the hope still being alive, I think the fans are going to be there and ready.
Yeah, I hope so. I absolutely hope so. Lee says, Shane or Anthony, who is better, West Virginia or Colorado? It's West Virginia, and I don't think it's close. West Virginia just beat them. They beat them last week, 29-22, I believe. Now, that wasn't even the greatest performance in the world from West Virginia. I think we brought this up on Wednesday as well. Colorado, before that West Virginia game defensively, in their 2 games prior to that, had given up a combined 105 points. Bad defense. Horrendous defense from Colorado. West Virginia, they capitalized minimally on it, but not the same way that they did against Houston, where they had a number of turnovers. That's going to be a key to this game, is literally just protecting the football. Starting off quick, and really, I guess, like I said earlier, winning the first half is going to be crucial because these two teams have shown you what they are, and they're two teams that when they're up at halftime, they like their chances. They play well with a lead. So I genuinely believe whoever is up at halftime has the upper hand in winning this game. Mark says losing as a 10-point favorite would be awful. Yeah, it'd be horrible. It'd be absolutely horrible, and I don't think there would be a way, obviously you got to see how the game plays out, but I don't think there would be a way that you could lose this game as a 10-point favorite at home, homecoming off a bye week, and have a justifiable excuse. I don't think that there is anything that you can point to in this game where you would say, yeah, you lose, but I genuinely don't think that there is a viable excuse here if you lose this game. You're the better team. You're the better coach team. You're at home. It's a monumental moment for this program to still potentially have a 10-win season. Down the stretch, you got to take care of business. The question is, who needs to have a big game for the Sun Devils to take care of business? And that leads us straight into this week's Heat Index. For the first time all year, we've got a coach, Marcus Arroyo, come on down. The first member of our Heat Index with 3 fire emojis here, meaning Marcus Arroyo needs to call a game. He needs to call one hell of a masterpiece. Do I think it's possible? Absolutely. Do I think it's likely? I don't know. He's had an extra week knowing that Jeff Sims is QB1. We saw great things from this offense, specifically Jeff Sims, in the Iowa State game. Go back to the Utah game. The offense didn't look great when Jeff Sims was at quarterback. How much do you want to put that on Jeff, on Marcus, on the team, on the environment? Go back to last year. Jeff started against Cincinnati. Offense didn't look great. How much do you put on Jeff? How much do you put on Marcus? How much do you put on the environment? Well, this is going to be the first time that Jeff Sims starts a game at home. The 3 other contests that Jeff has started, you had the at Cincinnati last year, you had at Utah this year, and you had at Iowa State this year. In theory, this should be a much more friendly environment for the offense. You should not have to deal with a loud, obnoxious crowd in this game. You should be able to control the tempo, control the pace, control the environment with what you do offensively. You've had 2 full weeks now of knowing Jeff Sims is QB1. I guess 3 if you count going back to Iowa State game prep, but 2 weeks to prep for West Virginia knowing Jeff is the guy. I'm curious to see what this offense looks like in terms of rolling it out. Are we just going to do exactly what was the recipe to a victory against Iowa State? Run, throw once, run it with Jeff? Is that the recipe to a victory? Or do you open it up a little bit, like Wes Beasy said, needing Jeff Sims to have his best game through the air? And what does the best game through the air look like for Jeff Sims? Is it a 12 of 20 game for a $150 and a touchdown, no INTs? Or is it a Sam Levitt-esque performance where he throws it 30 times, goes over 200, 2 touchdowns, etc.? I'm in the camp that you don't necessarily need that from Jeff Sims to win this game. I believe I said it on Wednesday. There are games that you go into knowing that you have to be creative, knowing that you have to take chances, knowing that you need an explosive play every single drive. I don't think that is the case with West Virginia coming to town. I think you can live and die by your bread and butter, and you will be just fine in this game against West Virginia. That is how little I respect this West Virginia defense. I'm sorry. They just haven't put enough on tape for me to believe that whatever they're going to throw out there against Arizona State, a dynamic offense, regardless of who's playing quarterback, is going to be good enough to slow down the Sun Devils. I just don't see it. But again, we'll see what we get from Marcus Arroyo. Now, 2 fire emojis, 2 of those 3, I'll tell you, for me, are more so what this offense looks like as a whole. That last fire emoji for me is specifically in the red zone. You can march up and down the field all you want, but if you're not scoring points, it does not matter. Doesn't matter. Arizona State, 7th in the Big 12 in terms of total yards per game. However, they are one of the worst teams in the Big 12 in terms of converting those red zone opportunities into touchdowns. Again, 2 full weeks prepping for West Virginia, which means prepping for what West Virginia does defensively on a scheme basis, what they do in certain situations, including the red zone. I need to see Arizona State's offense in the red zone look the best that it's looked all year. Again, goes back to the season's peak. This is your opportunity to really showcase what you're going to look like through the last 3 games of the regular season. Continuing on with the offense is really on display here in this week's Heat Index, because that's where I think this game is going to be won or lost. I've got complete faith in this Arizona State defense. But no Jordan Tyson. Malik McClain has been up and down. Jaron Hamilton has kind of gone missing as of late. Jalen Moss, he's had his moments. Shimon Mateer, though, has proven to be the second most reliable pass catcher on this team, not named Jordan Tyson. He is a security blanket. He was a security blanket for Sam Levitt. Also has proven to be that for Jeff Sims going back to that Iowa State game. Shimon Mateer has been absolutely marvelous this season, not just as a run blocker, chipping in the pass blocking game, but also just being able to sit in the middle of zones, find the holes of those defense, and be quarterback friendly, right? Being open, knowing when Jeff takes off, where he needs to be, where Shimon needs to be when Jeff takes off. I think for me, Shimon Mateer needs to have one of his best games. What does that look like? 6 catches, 50 yards, a touchdown. I think that gets it done if Shimon Mateer is able to put up that level of a performance against West Virginia. But it doesn't just stop with Shimon. The entire offensive line needs to go out there and have a day as well. I believe against Iowa State, we had also put the entire offensive line on there. And you may see the entire offensive line the rest of the way in terms of the Heat Index, because this team very clearly moves as the trenches move. It's a cliche, right? Push the guy in front of you. Whoever does a better job of that is going to win the football game. I have full faith in the Arizona State defensive line. The Arizona State offensive line, talk about playing up and down to your competition. This team looked phenomenal against Texas Tech. Then I feel like they got bullied against Houston. Then they go into Ames. They looked pretty good, especially when it came to running the football. This Arizona State offensive line, whichever version of it they throw out there on Saturday, needs to be its best version. I'm tired of these quarterbacks having to run for their lives when it's not called upon, right? When they have to make something out of nothing. If you want to win this game, you want to win it handedly. Well, you got to protect Jeff, and you got to be able to create open lanes up front for those backs, whether it's Raleek, Jason, Man, Kanye, doesn't matter. You got to do your job up front. Very interested to see what the starting 5 looks like along the offensive line. Also, what the rotation looks like. That's something we've seen a lot of this year for the Arizona State offensive line is they usually will play about 7 offensive linemen in a game, right? You only start 5, but we've seen Jalen Clem get in there at times. We've seen Maki get in there at times. Makua Pule's kind of played all along the offensive line from center to guard. Max Ahanachour has been pretty decent at times this season. So what does this ASU offensive line look like? What's the rotation look like? And something that you need to consider moving forward the rest of the way when we're talking about Arizona State is some of these younger guys getting in, right? And I get you are still competing at every single turn. There's still a lot to play for. But in terms of some of these young offensive linemen, Makua Pule, Maki, even Champ, right? Some of these other offensive linemen getting in there. This is your glimpse into the future, right? Because a lot of these guys are younger offensive linemen. You've got Josh Atkins, who's going to be done after this year. Max Ahanachour likely done at the end of this year as well. So you've got some spots along that O-line. And you would like to at least go into next season knowing that you've got some really reliable guys up front. I think we need to see that from the ASU offensive line. So again, Marcus Arroyo, Shimon Mateer, and the entire Arizona State offensive line, in my eyes, need to have big games if Arizona State is going to secure their 7th win of the 2025 regular season. Who do you got, Shane? Do you have somebody, an extra member of Heat Index?
Yeah, Jaron Hamilton.
Jaron Hamilton, your guy?
Or Jalen Moss. Just the receiving core.
Just the receiving core?
Because Jeff threw the ball well in that Iowa State game. He just didn't have to do it as much as we thought he would. So, yeah, I think opening up the pass game a little bit more could really benefit this offense because obviously they're going to collapse on the run.
Yeah.
So that box is going to be stacked.
We'll see. Wes Beasy says 15 completions, 225 yards and 2 touchdowns with no picks, and 90 yards with a touchdown on the ground and no fumbles versus West Virginia, and build on that versus the Buffs and the Kitties. Do we think that, and I don't mean this in a negative way, we haven't seen it. So I'm curious. I'm genuinely curious. Do we think that Jeff is capable of that? Of 15 completions, over 310 all-purpose yards and 3 touchdowns with 0 turnovers? Do we think he's genuinely capable of that?
Yeah, he's definitely capable, but the offense is going to have to be ran perfect.
Yeah. And again, and it's more so when I say I don't mean that in a negative way. I don't mean that negatively toward Jeff. I mean that more so like the offense, like Shane said, has to be humming and has to be in a perfect rhythm, I think, to fully see that from Jeff. And we just haven't necessarily seen this offense really outside of Iowa State with Jeff Sims look like that. Right? I think that's fair. Lee Corso in chat says, how good is the West Virginia secondary? Can they tackle? Are they bad tacklers? I would assume so. But what do you guys think? Because we're going to throw a lot of bubble screens. West Virginia's defense is bad. They are really, 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 really bad. I would say they have probably the 3rd worst defense in this conference. The worst defenses in this conference belong to Oklahoma State and Colorado. West Virginia, for me, is not as bad as those two. Those two defenses are literally, they'll just give you points. They'll give you touchdowns. West Virginia will put up a little bit of a fight. I'm not concerned at all from West Virginia, their secondary, anything that they have on the back end of that defense, especially if you're able to protect Jeff Sims. Again, when you're able to protect this guy and he's able to hang on to the football, what did we see 2 weeks ago? The National AP Player of the Week, right? Best player in college football a couple weeks ago. Jeff Sims, your quarterback, back at home. Now, what I will say is West Virginia, like I mentioned on Wednesday, the only reason in my eyes that they were able to beat Houston is that they got a turnover at every turn in that game. They capitalized on a number of interceptions from Connor Weigman. They punched the ball out, forced like 5 fumbles. I know they only secured 2 or 3 in that game, but still, they are hungry to create takeaways to give that offense extra opportunities because the offense, West Virginia's offense, when they do have opportunities on offense, they don't usually make the most of it, right? So we know, at least we feel confident, that Arizona State's defense is going to do their job, right? So I wouldn't be shocked if you saw Kenny Dillingham and Marcus Arroyo be extra aggressive offensively going for it on 4th down in some scenarios because they feel confident in what their defense can do against West Virginia and some of these other teams. What I will say, though, Mother Nature clearly doesn't like Jeff Sims because you look at the last 2 games that Jeff Sims has started, the weather has been horrible. You go back to Utah, it was pouring down rain. You go back to Iowa State, it was pouring down rain. Well, tomorrow Arizona State kicks off. It's supposed to rain tomorrow.
Well, the forecast has changed a bit.
Okay.
It doesn't look like it's going to rain in the morning anymore.
Huge.
Which I would love, but you never know.
You never know. Things change.
Also, it was supposed to be really cold tomorrow. You know, it was supposed to be like a high of like
60 something,
like high 60s. High is 80 now.
Wow.
Yeah.
We're getting a hot sunny day.
Perfect day.
Huge day. What time is it supposed to rain?
It says it has a 5% chance between 7 and 9, and then 0 or 5% between
7 and 9 a.m.
Yeah, basically 5% through until like 1 p.m. and then 10%, 20%.
It makes a difference, though.
Forecasts mean nothing to me.
It makes a difference. It absolutely does make a difference if it's raining in terms of ball security, right? We just talked about West Virginia, what they do to create takeaways and how good they've been the last couple of weeks at doing that. We know that in the past, Jeff Sims has been a little bit more prone to being loose with the football, throwing it and on the ground in terms of fumbles. I mean, we saw it against Iowa State, a couple fumbles. So if it's a dry day, that's perfect. That way you don't have any extra slippage when it comes to that football. But let us know in the chat who you guys think needs to have a big game outside of Jeff Sims for Arizona State to, again, secure their 7th win of the 2025 regular season. All the preparation, all the buildup, it's over. We're going to be getting to our predictions, taking a look at the rest of the Big 12 slate, and then hot or not after this quick break. I don't know about you guys, but I get super anxious during the holiday season, more so because I've got some people in my life that they're just impossible to buy gifts for. Dad, I'm looking at you. Impossible to buy gifts for. But that's why I love Arizona Lottery around this time of year, because those holiday scratchers are back. 'Tis the season for over $80 million in prizes. Yes, you heard it correctly. $80 million in prizes. Play holiday tickets from the Arizona Lottery for the chance to fill your stocking with cash. So, Dad, Mom, Grandma, Grandpa, everybody, if you are difficult to buy for this year, well, the easy answer is I'm going to get you a ton of those holiday scratchers, and hopefully we all win, because there are 6 festive scratchers to choose from, including Cash Countdown, which is prizes up to $250,000, and of course, Candy Cane Cash, which smells just like peppermint. Love the play and spread holiday cheer with holiday scratchers from the Arizona Lottery. Play and gift today. Now, when you guys win all those money, I say when you guys win the money from those holiday scratchers, well, you're going to need a place that you trust to put that money in. Look no further than our friends over at Mountain America Credit Union, because their My Style checking account has perks just for you. You guys can enjoy a bunch of different deals, including restaurant deals, mobile phone protection, telehealth access, identity protection, loan rate discounts, offers on travel and events, and more. Make My Style your lifestyle at Mountain America Credit Union. Make sure you visit macu.com/mystyle to apply. Plus, Mountain America Credit Union going the extra mile to support local student athletes, providing $20,000 in scholarships to local student athletes each year. Again, learn more at macu.com/ASU, insured by NCUA. Terms, conditions, and exclusions apply. Loans on approved credit. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. Drop a 5-star review wherever you get your podcast. Wes Beasy says, strange things happen when a player believes in himself in the locker room and coaches have his back. This is what they call a stat game. If done right, after getting your jersey enshrined, it's go time. Oh, I love that. I think that's a piece of it, right? You can't have the game that you had against Iowa State, get your jersey put in the Arizona State Hall of Fame, right? And then just kind of crap the bed, right, against West Virginia after a bye week. You can't do that, dude. You just absolutely can't do it. Not with the performance that you put up against Iowa State a couple weeks ago. You need somewhat of a similar performance in this one. Wes Beasy in the chat also says, Champ has played only in 2 games, but I give you all my word that Champ will be ready to lead and replace Max next season or hold down the left side. I've got complete faith, man. I'm super excited to see Champ when he does get an opportunity to compete for a starting job along this Arizona State offensive line. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Devil Fan 1976 says, agree about the offensive line. O-line plays well, and Jeff doesn't turn the ball over. ASU will win. Do you think it's that simple, Shane? Do you think it's as simple as if Jeff doesn't turn the ball over and the O-line protects him, Arizona State should win this
I
year?
mean, it's impossible to make a blanket statement like that, but like that's a good recipe for success. That, as you said, like the West Virginia took advantage of turnovers against Houston.
Yeah.
You got to make sure you don't give them those opportunities. And yeah, execute your game plan. You win this game. Like the way upsets happen, it's not just there's magic in the air that night. I mean, sometimes there is, but it usually isn't that case. Like it's because the better team didn't play like the better team.
Yeah.
You're the better team. Play like the better team. That's the blanket statement.
So does the better team win is the question. Getting to our predictions. What do you have, Deli Man, in this one? Do you have something spicy at all?
So I have ASU winning a kind of a grosser game, but not like
How gross are we
I
talking?
think if I had to put a score on it, I would say 24-13.
24-13
Yeah.
ASU?
Yeah,
Who's player of the game?
with like a late touchdown run to put it away with 2 minutes to go to give you 24.
Leak's player of the game.
You just need him to have a good game.
You need Leak. Rubus has 31-17 on this one. I've got 31-14. Again, I think Arizona State handles business. They should handle business in this one, especially coming off a bye. Kenny said it earlier in the week. This team has been really good at responding to failure, right? They haven't lost back-to-back games since the, 2023 season? They haven't been good at responding to success this year. And you were fresh off a successful trip to Ames, Iowa, where you beat Iowa State, won the rematch of the Big 12 championship in 2024, got the bye week to get healthy. I think you see that, right? When you look at the Big 12 availability report, not a ton of players that, were in contention to play, listed as questionable, probable, etc., doubtful even. So you're getting some guys back. You've had multiple weeks to prep for this game. And West Virginia is one of the worst teams in this conference. I think it is point blank, period. You go out there, you play your brand of football at home. There is no reason that Arizona State shouldn't win this game by double digits. Again, I got 31-14. Rubus has 31-17. Deli Man has 24-13 in this one. So none of us have West Virginia scoring more than 2 touchdowns in this game. We all believe in that Arizona State defense. Let us know, though, in the chat, what do you guys have for a score prediction between Arizona State and West Virginia? Lee says Rubus is playing one-on-one basketball right now, question mark. Is he? Is that what he's doing? Is he playing against that's what he's doing right now?
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't want to talk about that.
Now you know. If you didn't know, now you know. Jose Perez has abandoned us at Arizona State, shocker, to go play somebody else. It is what it is at this point, guys. But again, drop your score predictions in the chat. Let's take a look at what else is going on here in the Big 12 this week. The Deli Man and I are going to go through the slate, tell you what we like. Starting at 10 in the morning, Arizona at Cincinnati. Now, sneaky good game, 6-3 versus 7-2 here. Arizona, they have been eliminated from any chance of going to the Big 12 championship. Cincinnati still in the thick of this conversation. And I know this is not where you want to be on a Saturday. If you're an Arizona State fan, you got to root for the Wildcats. You're rooting for Arizona to upset Cincinnati. That is what you are rooting for if you are an Arizona State fan and you want to see the Sun Devils potentially go back to the Big 12 championship. It starts there. Of course, it actually starts with Arizona State getting the job done because you can't do anything if you don't go 3-0 over the next 3 weeks, but you need Cincinnati to lose. Do you think they lose, or do you think the Bearcats hang on to this one, Shane? Cincinnati favored by 6.5.
I don't know, man. I think this is going to be a banger.
I think it is going to be a banger too.
Good football game.
I've been pleasantly surprised, or I won't say pleasantly surprised.
Unpleasantly surprised.
I've been unpleasantly surprised by how well Noah Fafita has played to this point in the season. 23 touchdowns to 4 INTs. He has been really, really good, especially down the stretch for the Wildcats. You got to be rooting for Arizona. I do think Cincinnati, though, gets the job done. Brendan Sorsby has just been a masterclass really all year long, and I think his name does belong in the Heisman conversation, especially if Cincinnati makes it to the Big 12 championship game. I think you got to include him in that conversation. Dennis with a score prediction for ASU saying 31-17, so you got the same score that Rubus has. Chase says 27-24 score in Cincinnati. Does that mean you've got Cincinnati with that score, or who do you got in that one? Another score prediction, Z-Man, 44-10 ASU, or 27-24. So it's either a blowout or a close game. I guess it's got to be one of the two. And Devil fans saying ASU 27, West Virginia 14. So some of you guys think it's going to be close. Others think that this could potentially be a blowout. Z-Man also says it just seems like all of our games end up 27-24 this year. That's true. As long as you win. As long as you win, that is all that I care about. That's all that you should care about at the end of the day when we're talking Arizona State. Moving on to another game that's just an absolute stinker. Kansas State at Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State, man, they have not won a conference game now in, 15 straight games? Bad. Very, very, very bad. And they've got Kansas State, UCF, and Iowa State. Those are the last three games. Do they win a conference game all year long, Shane? Or do they go 2 full years without beating anybody in the Big 12?
Dude, the vibes are so bad there.
I don't even know if they have vibes.
Yeah.
Vibes have been killed.
There are no vibes.
There are no vibes in Stillwater. Literally still vibes. I'm going Kansas State in this one. I think they probably rout them by 30. Also, I think I saw Dylan Edwards is going to enter the transfer portal in January. Just throwing that one out there. Ladies and gentlemen, potentially be on the lookout for him. Wes BZ says 35-10 Arizona State. I'll take it. I'll take a 35-10. That'd be a solid start to the day. Of course, you got West Virginia, Arizona State also kicking off at 11. We discussed that one. UCF at Texas Tech. Is there any chance? Any chance in hell?
Hell yeah, there's a chance.
Is there?
There's always a chance in college football, man.
Yeah, but this is UCF, man.
UCF looked good. And they lost. But they looked But they looked good. They had fun.
Yeah, but you can't just have fun.
Yeah, dude, yes you can.
You can't though. You gotta win.
But you can just have fun and then you look at the score, you're like, oh my God, we won.
1-5 in conference play for UCF at Texas Tech.
What are you in conference play?
Me specifically?
Yeah,
I'm 1-0. Yeah, I'm 1-0.
How?
What are you?
0-0.
0-0. You haven't played yet? Hey, are you redshirting? Oh my goodness. Yeah, I don't think there's a shot in hell that UCF.
What's the spread on that game?
23.5.
Oh.
Yeah, not good. Who knows? Maybe you get Texas Tech still riding way too high after beating a bad BYU team. Potentially. Maybe that's what you get.
A bad BYU team is crazy.
Bad BYU team. Utah at Baylor. Could this be a banger? Could this be the Dave Aranda game where he either saves his job or gets canned? I think it could be. I think if Dave Aranda wants to coach at Baylor next year, I think he's got to win this ball game. Number 13 team in the nation coming to town. You are at home. You're what, 5-4 on the year? You can't waste this season that Sawyer Robertson has had. I mean, I guess it already is kind of a waste, but getting this win and really pretty much destroying Utah's hopes of making the college football playoff if you beat them. If you're an Arizona State fan, again, you are rooting for Baylor in this game. You do not want Utah to win this football game. Your rooting guide to this point doesn't look good. You're rooting for Arizona to beat Cincinnati. You're rooting for UCF to beat Texas Tech, and you're rooting for Baylor to beat Utah. All of the dogs is what you're rooting for. And then to bring us home in the conference, the final game, TCU at BYU. You are rooting for TCU in this game. You're rooting for Josh Hoover to go nuts in this one. 6-3 versus 8-1. BYU, a slim favorite, only 3.5 at home here. Do they do what they did last year and just completely crumble down the stretch? I think they do. I'm taking TCU in a shootout here. I think this is like a 40-35 type of game.
Wow.
And Josh Hoover gets it done under the lights at BYU. What do you think?
Ooh, that game kicks at 8:15.
We got a late one.
I don't know, man. TCU stinks.
Yeah, but their offense doesn't. Their offense doesn't stink. Their defense stinks.
Smelly.
So whose offense is better, BYU or TCU?
They only put up 23 points on West Virginia. Dude, I don't know. I think BYU kills them.
You think they kill them?
Yeah, dude. TCU stinky.
No, they don't stink as much as you think,
TCU
man.
stinky.
No.
Yeah.
No stinky.
They put up 17 points on Iowa State and then 23 on West Virginia.
40 burger incoming.
There's no more meat.
Z-Man says, go TCU, baby. Hoover for Heisman on night only. One night only, maybe?
Yeah.
There you go.
Maybe, if the Heisman was given out for one game, there's a chance he wins the Heisman, sure.
Tomorrow?
Yeah.
Yeah. 400 yards, 4 touchdowns, and a Jameis Winston dub for TCU. Just eating W's. That's what he's going to be doing in BYU country. I like TCU. But again, your rooting guide tomorrow, if you're an Arizona State fan, mark it down. You're rooting for Arizona to beat Cincinnati. I know, tough. Swallow your pride. You need it. UCF to beat Texas Tech on the road. Maybe we just look to next week for Texas Tech to lose. Utah at Baylor. You're rooting for Baylor in that game. And then TCU at BYU. Again, you're rooting for TCU. All 4 of the teams that Arizona State needs to win are actually underdogs going into this week's game or this week's slate of games in the Big 12. Lee says, is that game in Provo? They don't lose a Provo night game. Yeah, it's in Provo. Well, they haven't played Josh Hoover at night. Josh Hoover at night. Hit that like button. Hit the subscribe button. Drop a 5-star review wherever you get your podcast. And we get to do something now that we haven't done in a long time.
We can do that, but we have to talk about ASU basketball for a second.
Okay, go ahead.
Come on.
Go ahead.
Dude, they're 2-0, and they got a big test
They got
tonight.
a big game tonight. Gonzaga at DFA. Go. Honestly, go. Go to the game. I genuinely think that this team is earned. Your I'm not going to say your love, but for you to at least support them. If you're an ASU Sun Devil, go watch them, see what they got. If they're competitive, great. If they're not, then they're not, right? I don't know how competitive they're going to be in this game. I really, really am excited to see Jop again. He has been literally a shining star.
No, he's not literally been a shining star.
He's been a 7-foot shining star.
That'd be awesome if he was a shining star, but he has not literally been a shining star.
What has he been?
He's been a shining star, but not literally.
Oh, literally, he's a shining star.
No, he's not. He's a person. He's a human.
He's a star.
Okay. He's a star. He's
a
not
7-foot star.
He isn't literally a 7-foot star.
He's literally a 7-foot star.
Yeah, this should be a fun game. We talked about it a bit earlier in the week, but EK versus Jop is must-see TV. There's a bunch of grown men on this team. Just a bunch of guys that have been playing college basketball for a while.
On their team?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should be a fun one, though.
Ace Wolf.
Anything can happen.
The return of Ace. What would you set his over-under at?
4 points.
Really?
He's not been very good this year.
Nobody that has left ASU has been very good this year. I haven't seen what Quaintance and Sannon have done, to be honest with you. So I guess that's too much of a blanket statement to say that nobody's done good.
He's averaging 10 points a game.
Quaintances?
No.
Ooh, Ace?
Adam Miller.
Oh, then yeah. I mean, if you say 4.5, I'm taking the over. What has Quaintance been doing?
He hasn't played yet.
Oh, he hasn't
cleared yet. Yeah, no.
Oh, he's still not cleared. Oh, yeah, I forgot.
Yeah.
Destroyed his leg. What about Sannon?
He's been pretty good.
He's been pretty good?
Yeah.
That's good. Good for Sannon, man. Good for the Johnny. Lee says, are you guys going to the game tonight and going to the football game tomorrow? Going to the football game, yes, tomorrow. Not going to the basketball game this evening. What say you, Deli, man? You gonna be a true sicko on a Friday night?
Homecoming. I got dinner plans tonight. Sadly, I'm not able to make it. But
is it with Jop? Is Jop going to your dinner?
No. Sannon 2 games played, averaging 10.5 points per game, 14 points and 7 points. He shot 1 of 6 in the game against Alabama.
So predictions: ASU, Gonzaga, upset incoming.
Gonzaga probably wins, but I think that this team is going to. I think it's going to be similar to the Gonzaga game last year. That
was a 1-score game the whole game.
It was so wire to wire. Yeah, it just depends on how you defend EK and how EK defends you. I think the game goes through Graham EK by far.
I think that's fair. I think Gonzaga wins this game by 14. I think it may be close for a little bit, but I just don't know if ASU has enough in the tank to realistically compete with a team like Gonzaga. And now if they win, I will come on here on Saturday at post game and absolutely eat my words. But we'll see. Tune in, go to the game again if you have no plans tonight. Absolutely show up, show out for ASU hoops. Also, want to give a shout out to ASU volleyball. ASU volleyball, they have continued to just be dominant. Beat U of A, broke their student attendance record the other day. That was absolutely awesome to see. Go support JJ Van Neal's team because he's got himself one hell of a program. My mustache is in honor of what JJ Van Neal's mustache is. It's goated. It's absolutely goated. Anyone with that mustache we know can coach one hell of a team. And that's exactly what JJ is doing. Okay. Rapid fire, hot or not? Thoughts, feelings, concerns?
Sure.
So for those of you that are new here, we haven't done hot or not in some time, but this is the point in the show on Fridays where the Deli Man gives yours truly 3 random topics, and usually we'll argue, maybe we'll be in unison, maybe we'll sing Kumbaya, but it kind of changes every single week. So I'm glad we get to do a little bit of a hot or not. So what do we got for topic number 1, Deli Boy?
Busts.
Huh?
Busts. I don't know.
Busts. Like the statues?
Yes, like busts.
Okay. Can I have more of like, it's
No,
just like in general?
Busts. Like that's the topic. Busts.
I don't think they're hot. I think
Really?
I don't think they're hot because it's not like a traditional statue. It's just like what your face is, right? Like,
What?
and normally they don't do
Isn't
them
that what a
good.
statue is?
It's what a bust is. A bust is a replication of what you look like. That's a bust.
Yeah.
Not hot. 9
Okay.
times out of 10, they look like crap.
Wow.
Do you like busts?
Yeah, they're cool.
What's cool about it?
It's a person from the chest up. It's dope.
Why not just get an actual statue? You can't say they're hotter than statues.
Well, the statues aren't always practical. You can't put a statue in your house. I mean, you could, but it was stupid.
The hell you putting a bust in your
In your living room,
for what?
bro.
If you could have a bust made perfectly of any one person that you are not related to, dead or alive, who would it be? And you get full clearance.
Like, what about like the first person on Earth? First like
Ooh.
Neanderthal, that'd be sick.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, that would be
See, that'd be hot.
that'd be a hot bust.
Yep.
It would be a hot bust. Kenny Dillingham.
Okay.
I think a Kenny bust would be pretty good.
Sure.
That's just me. Me. Whoa. Okay. Let's go on and get to the next topic, Deli Man.
Yeah. I mean, that makes sense, Chris. That's why he wouldn't think it's hot.
Yeah. I mean, not confirming or denying.
Museums.
Why you say it like that?
Museum.
Museums.
No, museums.
Museums.
You don't say it like that.
I say it like that. Museums.
Museums.
Museums. How do you say it?
Chat cook this fool. Museum.
Museums.
Museum.
It's a museum. Are you gonna ask?
Why are you like challenging me when I'm just giving you a topic?
It's just you said it differently, man. I wasn't expecting that. It's museum.
You just said it like me that time.
Museums.
Yeah, museum.
That's what I said.
No, it's not. You said museum.
Museum?
Yeah, see? It's museum.
No, it's museum.
Okay.
Not hot.
What?
In theory, they're hot. I just don't find myself like sitting on my couch on a Saturday and like, you know what I want to do today? I want to go look at old artifacts. Like, that's not usually what I want to do. Even when I'm on vacation, I'm not a big like, hey, let's go check out a piece of history. I'm just not a history guy like that. I feel like you're a big museum guy. You give big museum energy. I imagine you think museums are hot.
That's not cool.
What?
I think that was a shot.
How is it a shot?
Museums are awesome.
What's awesome about them?
They're great.
Care to elaborate?
Yeah, like it's awesome.
I hate you, dude.
First of all, there are many different types of museums. Like a lot of different types of museums.
There are.
There's art museums.
Mm-hmm.
There's like history museums.
Mm-hmm.
There's like specific event museums.
Mm-hmm.
There's chocolate museums.
Mm-hmm.
I've done them all.
You've done them all.
I've done all of them.
Is is an aquarium a version of a museum?
No, it's a zoo.
Is it a zoo?
Dumbass.
Shane's gotten really spicy this hot or not. Okay, I'm a dumbass. What's topic number 3 to bring us home?
Alcohol.
Just all alcohol?
No, like non-drinking alcohol.
Not like so rubbing alcohol.
I'm just kidding. That's a bad one. I didn't really have anything. I just pressed the roll, and I was hoping I could come up with something by the end of it. I just said alcohol.
Alcohol. Booze.
Okay, let me try this again. Don't have anything still. The dessert pizza.
Hot as hell.
Wow.
Hot as hell. Any version of pizza is hot. Dessert, breakfast,
What about
dinner,
like poop
lunch.
pizza?
Poop pizza? If you're a poop eater, then I guess maybe. But yeah, I think dessert pizza's hot. I think that's enough. I think that's probably all we've got for today's show. We will see you guys for a pregame show and, of course, a postgame show right here on the PHNX Sports YouTube channel. Tomorrow, Arizona State, a morning game. So make sure 30 minutes prior to kickoff, you're right here on the PHNX Sports YouTube channel getting ready with us for that game. We're going to have a 30-minute pregame show. It's going to be an absolute banger, I promise. And if you enjoyed today's content, or if you didn't, or if you like dessert pizza, give the show a follow at PHNX_Sun Devils. You can follow me at Anthony_Totri. You can follow the man who's not here. That's Eric Ruby at Eric Ruby. It's Eric with the K. You can follow the Deli Man at Shane D.
As always.
We'll see you guys on Saturday for an Arizona State game day. In the meantime, go Devils. Peace.
We all silly like the mayor.